Hello everybody and welcome back to the LD2L Season 12, Week 4, Lich Better Have My Money versus My Beautiful Dark Willow Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's actually, fun fact, the first week where we are specifically doing these matches in order. So, I'm even going to have an advertisement for who's coming next at the end of this. It'll be fun.
Wow.
Willow Twisted Fantasy says that was Viper's fault, get him out of here. Viper did play a big role, really made that lane a nightmare for them. But I don't know if he's really ban-worthy. I think Viper is too easily countered, to be honest with you. They want to run it back, you know, the solution isn't to ban, the solution is just get something that can get rid of him. That's really...
Don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, it's really the biggest weakness of Viper S3, actually. Both getting rid of two X3 heroes, actually. I think the biggest weakness with Viper on 3 actually is he is very easily countered into. If you've got like a long silence on somebody who can get it out, Viper can do nothing. You know, it's like I always say, right? What's big, green, and does no damage? Viper when he's silenced.
Right.
Forces you to either get an early BKB or early Manta style. Neither of those are ideal, and they really hurt your ability to do any pause 3 work for your team. You basically just become a baby pause 2. He's a Spirit Breaker. They want to run it themselves.
Yeah. Ripping a page out of the other team's playbook.
I could pretend that I don't have the insider information about who's playing Spirit Breaker this game, so I won't say anything about it. That's a lot easier thing to do than pretend.
Dire team pick.
Getting a Pangolier here. Yeah, I talk to a lot of people on Lich, you know. It could be anybody. You basically say it's probably not run over meat. There you go, because I haven't said anything to him. I don't know, I feel...
He is a fun one.
Well, I'll talk about that after the game. Pango and Lion, two very annoying heroes to deal with during a fight. That's an instant sort of morale break to the degree for them, I think. Spirit Breaker and Grimstroke is a very interesting combination.
It's a good combo. Spirit Breaker splits in two and charges two people.
Yeah. Spirit Breaker splits in half.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like a Tom and Jerry slapstick punchline, just, you know.
Yeah.
The two halves look at each other and he's like, "Oh no!" It just falls over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Grimstroke Spirit Breaker I think is a little bit of a greedy combination there, if that's what they're going for. You know, Inkswell is best when it's on a hero who needs that additional pressure when they're chasing somebody, you know? That's why I've always said, you know, you Grimstroke with Bristle. You don't Grimstroke a bad necessarily. You don't need that that extra little bit. Does not help them quite as much as you'd think, right?
Radiant team.
It sounds strange, but there's a lot more of a difference between 0 and 1 and 1 and 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As stated in the last game, Dark Willow Twisted Fantasy is still on the back foot here in this tournament. They really need to eke out a win here. So, you know, I think this might be almost a deciding factor for them. If they lose this one, they might just slip and fall right into the abyss. But if they win this one, they might be on the road back to glory. Getting right rid of that Huskar. No surprise there.
Yep.
I really doubt they were going to run that one back, though.
I've been the tinier with a Huskar, but it's life.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to ban the two ban around. I feel like they're assuming.
Tiny because I'm gonna assume Grim is 4.
Yeah, I think that's the idea here. Getting a Pit Lord up. I like how whenever you draft Pit Lord, he wants you to know what his breath smells like.
Yeah, there he is. It's a Raminola Pit Lord.
You always love to see it.
5 seconds remaining.
Ramonolo trying new things here to a very obvious degree. I think that also combos pretty well with that Pangolier in that line, you know. What's more miserable than just being bashed around by a Pangolier? Well, being bashed around by a Pangolier inside the pit, you know.
Yep.
What's more annoying than the fact that it's really hard to kill Pango during his ult? Why, how about the fact that you have to kill Pangolier during his ult and with that ability to just get out of there, and with that additional CC on the line backing him up?
5 seconds remaining.
And I know we say this a lot, this would be another great day for that Lion Eggs.
Yep.
With the Pango presumably 1 or 2, it's definitely a game where I feel like you can leave a little more money than usual for the support. It's got a Life Stealer coming up here. Stealing that fun wants to go with that Spirit Breaker here. They're really putting a lot on that Spirit Breaker combo.
Yeah, it's a Spirit Breaker combo. It's also good against Pit Lord.
Yeah, he gets a Pit Lord tends to be an HP balloon. That's most of where his tank comes from. So Life Stealer, always a great counter to heroes like that. He's great against your Centaurs. He's great against your Pit Lords. He's great against like Pudge or Wraith King or so on and so forth. Life Stealer against Pudge, actually, one of the best counters to Pudge, I think, out there, because it's a lose-lose for Pudge. Like, if he doesn't get 1,000,000 kills, then he's not going to be able to kill Life Stealer. He's not going to be able to present himself a threat. If he does get 1,000,000 kills, Life Stealer looks at him and gets his whole HP bar back, so... To that end, there probably shouldn't be a Pudge on Will-O-Wisp of Fantasy in this particular game.
Radiant team back.
Ah, there we go. I was spoiled of this.
Yep, you were waiting for this guy the whole tournament. We finally got him
Here
here.
he is.
Getting rid of a Razor immediately. Lich had that problem last week. They let the enemy team draft Razor against the Life Stealer. Really messed with them.
You know, Booker maybe the flashiest hero in all of Dota. Like, very fun to watch when he's on.
Maybe the flashiest hero in Dota, and by that we mean he got arrested for flashing in public.
Yeah. That sounds like an Invoker within character for Invoker to do.
Yeah. No, actually, he just really likes old Adobe Flash. You might think what's happening when he's using Ghost Walk is that he's becoming invisible, but he's actually just turning to a really crappy transparent gradient effect.
10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
5 seconds remaining.
Remember the PL there as well, which is interesting. Could potentially be running back Medusa with that in mind, with the Ursa as well.
Maybe.
Though it would likely be a 2 Medusa. I do not see Life Stealer exactly going mid per se. And I already know where Spirit Breaker's going, and I believe I've spoiled that to a degree here by saying that, but you know. Spoilers. It's 3 Breaker.
Wow.
Getting rid of the Broodmother here. They don't want to see that Kid Dynamite Broodmother again. And actually, even in defeat, Kid Dynamite looked really strong in the Broodmother last week, so...
Yep.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Silencer. This is gonna be 2 Silencer,
right,
baby.
Here we
2
go.
Silencer against the Invoker. I like it. That's actually really bad for all of them. That's gonna have to be 4 BKBs ASAP, and I'm fortunate for Lion there.
Yep.
And unless you're going to be running support Pango, we're also going to see the 4 here as the last pick. So
Could be a 4 Pango.
Yeah, I guess it could be. It shouldn't be though.
I don't think they would pick a core Pango first.
I actually kind of would have to say why not to that, because you know what counters Pango out there besides Silencer, and you know that's just a easy option. Yep. We do have Void here. It is a support Pangolier. I'm
Void and
not really,
Invoker. Classic.
not a huge fan of the support Pango. Let's see how it goes up. Yeah, we got that Void Invoker combo. I think any deficiency of the low pause Pango can easily be made up for by the Void Invoker combo. That's just strong.
Yeah, literally the deadliest combo in the game.
As predicted, it should have been, I suppose, rather obvious when we have Warlock in the pool as well. As predicted, we have Grimstroke on the 4 here.
Yep. Like, legitimately, anyone who's in Chronosphere dies as soon as Invoker gets eggs without a counter.
I will say, if I could go back in time and do one thing, I think I would have picked somebody else but Warlock here. I really, to be honest with
You
you,
need an Oracle against Invoker Void.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. See, here's a little bit of a background thing. I've actually asked Kid Dynamite, yo, can this guy play Oracle? And he just said straight up, no.
Sad.
I do not trust him to do that. Just unfortunate. Shoutouts to Run Over Mate. Just got completely exposed on air, but
Hey, Oracle's a tough one.
it is a tough one. I understand why he's saying that. If you mess up Oracle, it can go really badly here. But this is another week, it feels like, where it really would come in handy to see a long pause. Really would come in handy, I think, to see the Oracle here. Go better with the, because what they're really going to be building around is this Lifestealer combo, right? They're going to be building around Lifestealer, going into Spearbreaker with the Ink Swell on them, jumping out and all that, right? That's what they're going to be mostly worrying about. The Grimstroke ult doesn't have a lot to do here, but you do have the interesting idea of the Grimstroke ult with the Fatal Bonds to double up the amount you get, which is always nasty.
Yep.
Also have Grimstroke to double up with the Silencer E as well, which can actually be a surprising utility, especially when you don't want to specifically drop Global Silence.
I guess, like, your only hope of surviving Void Invoker is, like, a pipe at this point.
What a
SP
pipe.
pipe.
Yeah.
I think it
30
wouldn't
seconds.
mitigate it, but you wouldn't necessarily survive.
You need both. You need a pipe and you need an, I would say Shiva's is usually the best play against Void, because you tend to have enough time to drop it on him, and he's not usually going to want to drop BKB during the chrono. If he does, good for you. It's better for you if he does. Pipe and Shivas would usually be, it's just what you're going to have to do here. That Void and not Void Invoker. Yeah, that Void Invoker, actually. That Void Invoker getting into the pool. Actually, there's another issue there along with that Void Invoker. Another little issue with that Void Invoker.
Yeah, that's true.
And Pangolier can shoot knives into it as well to break your armor. They got a really good Faceless Void setup, actually. I don't blame them for not necessarily seeing it, because I didn't realize it myself until hindsight, but man, they really have a strong Void lineup here. I didn't think we were going to see Faceless at this tournament, actually. It seemed like even when he was kind of a gimme, they didn't really want to have him here.
Oh, here we go. You rarely see it in professional games, because, whenever one is picked, the other gets banned, because it's legitimately just such, like, a worrying combo.
Right. It's nearly uncounterable.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about it.
You have to dedicate... Basically, you have to have somebody on hand who has to play their entire game around that idea. And unfortunately, Spearbreaker really struggles in that department. He cannot... Even with... If he does get the items that I feel like he really kind of needs here, it's still going to be very difficult for him to... to get that, because he's so poor at farming off of anything but kills. They have a very good anti-Spearbreaker lineup here.
Yep.
I think, genuinely, it is a bit of a problem that every single game, and I think you can really see the issue here, every single game they draft 3 first. They draft 3 as the first pick, right?
Yep.
I think that's really starting to go just backfire for them more and more. Because in this game, it's not great to let them get that Void Invoker combo as it stands. But it's even worth to have that with like a pause 3 like a Spirit Breaker, you know? What's he gonna do? Charge into the chrono and get stunned, you know?
Yeah.
He personally does not have any ability to react to that. And the thing is, unless your initiation is going to be focused on 3, and I guess in fairness it is here, though it's probably not going to pan out for them, to be frank. Unless your focus is on the pause 3, you want your pause 3 to be more of a reactive pick, ideally. I like the fatal bonds in the camp that Ramanolo's doing, just to annoy him, make it as tedious as possible to get it without accidentally giving Warlock money.
That is a good one.
One thing I will say, Ramanolo is going to have a bit of a tough time here, especially once Lifestealer gets a level of that rage.
Yeah, you can just get poked by him very easily.
It's a very interesting scenario the way you level up Lifestealer, because I think Lifestealer is one of those heroes that should not be leveled up the same way twice ever. It is all conditional what you level, basically, with Lifestealer. And with Rage in particular, it's always like you want to level up Rage the minimal amount you possibly can get away with.
Yeah. Because you can be super strong if you have high levels of passives in lane.
Goodbye to Run Over Meets Courier. You know, if I was really a funny guy, if I saw HS randomly denying nothing, would have just immediately popped down another sentry right where he denied that. Oh, got first blood up here. Lion actually just getting run over by this combo here. So take a look at the instant replay, because this game definitely isn't going to go on long enough anyway, you know.
Charging as well. That's quite deadly.
Yep.
Oh, I got the lucky bash too.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Sad for Lion. Well played. Every good play has a little spice of luck in there.
Yeah.
Soaring SP, huh? Hmm.
Radiant's
I haven't seen it. I don't hate it.
What we going here? What are we talking about?
Soul Ring Spirit Breaker.
Soul Ring Breaker, right? Yeah, I can see why you would want to do that. I can also see why you would not want to do that. On a hero like SB, you are going to be really tough to kill no matter what. He's cycling the items out of his inventory here. It's like TI4. Not TI4, it's like 2 years ago.
It's good. It's efficiency out of itself.
Yep. You have ways besides just having the HP on you to deal with your life. Though I do feel like if you're going to do that, you probably should get a Blast at some point in your life, just so you have a relatively safe way to get that HP back. I mean, you probably shouldn't have Tranks, to be honest with you. It's likely going to be the solution here. Lol. Likely going to be the feeling solution here, though. I do not like getting Tranks on SB. I do not like the concept. Unless you're like a support, and even then, you're still basically mortgaging off your ability to poke people. Because, you know, it's not just you're losing out on efficiency by right-clicking a lot, it's also you're losing out on your ability to poke by breaking your speed from time to time, which is never ideal. Never ideal. But that might not be. Yeah, he's just going for phase. He's going for phase.
Yeah, smart.
I don't think charge alone is good enough as a poke. Can't do it often enough. It's no Centaur, you know, double edge, for example.
Yeah.
How clean whiff on the.
I feel like the bash versus bash lane is very good.
Lion Man again, just
whoa.
Going crazy.
Seems the greater bash is beating the time lock or whatever it's called.
Yep. Or more accurately, Luth here really does not seem to care much about the fate of his 5, which sounds really horrible and heartless and all that, but like, you don't need to if you're second place or last, and all they're getting done in your lane is just bullying your 5 anyway.
That's kind of your 5's job, you know, 5 very sacrificial role. Now, if he's taking the heat, you're not taking it, but you appear to be taking a little bit of heat.
Yeah, that probably was not the play there. I think he either underestimated how much mana the offlane was going to have, or the damage they were going to be able to do. Now, that is a thing with Inkswell.
It's easy to underestimate that Grim damage, actually. Yeah. So I don't blame him.
That is the thing with Grimstroke. You know, the Inkswell on Spiritbreaker can be a bit redundant, but it's certainly not if you don't play around it to some degree. I think if you don't acknowledge the amount of damage that it is going to be doing to you in a short time, and you don't try to avoid that happening to you, then you are going to be feeling the effects you're going to be feeling in the morning. So like I said before, it's like I'll say again, just because something is counterable doesn't mean that it's going to be effort-free to counter. You are still going to have to put the thought in.
Right.
This pleases the master.
Sure does. Nothing really happening in Meteor so far, which isn't too surprising. Invoker obviously is just not going to be able to get any kills on Silencer, no matter what he's doing.
Invoker, I like it.
Absolutely perfect.
Yep. It's time for a gank!
Alright,
I want to kill the dog town!
It is Qual's Wax, so that's what you want to be doing.
Unfortunately, he's in jail here.
Yeah, that's a bit sad. I think this guy still does.
No, he's
Ooh,
good.
maybe not. Alright. Oh! That was like the max distance, I believe, for that.
Yep.
Didn't go anywhere, but it looked cool, so. At least there's that.
Yeah. Trying to get a kill in here on the Silencer. Do not think that's going to really be a very good use of his time or mana, to be honest with you. If I'm Invoker and I'm looking at this lane, my first thought, get the hell out of here! You're never going to kill Silencer. He can't farm that effectively, which is his biggest weakness as a 2. He can do fine. He can do fine for himself, but he's not going to be like, you know, you're not going to turn your back on Silencer for 5 minutes and then come back to see him with $10 trillion, you know? That's not really going to happen with the guy. So I think, personally, the strat for me would be let Silencer do his thing here, go somewhere else, and hope he doesn't follow you. He's likely going to be doing the same thing himself.
Hello.
But, you know, if he,
Pengo here.
I think he went deep here. I think he overestimated his damage. So I guess he will get a Silencer kill if he has a little deep to get a rotation in. So, you know, shows what I know, I guess. And now time to spam up these super long chat lines.
Ah, his name's Carl.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
SMH, needing a support to kill me.
That's true.
Weren't you a support?
Oh. Right.
Damn!
It's a bit of spice. I like to see it.
BM here between Iceman and Kid Dynamite. Oh, that's sad.
Nice, dude. That's what you get for calling with support.
Luth here. Getting a little low.
Radiant's bottom tower.
One lane
is
we
under
haven't really
attack.
been watching much of is this bot lane. So far, not much has gone on because, you know, this obviously.
Yeah. All scores
not
are
a
pretty
scenario.
much.
Right?
Oh. Pango.
Clear doing down summer here. Get an
poked.
instant replay of what the hell just happened to him. Oh.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom
Buddy
tower
boy,
is
man,
under
you went the
attack.
wrong way. I could not tell you fairly what Pangolier was doing there.
Did I hear a squeak known by many names? But my true name of power
You should have known.
Carl.
is Carl.
It's true.
Dire's top tower.
I'm
is
glad
under
they didn't
attack.
decanonize that like they randomly decanonized not Treant,
Yeah,
Nature's
teenage.
Prophet. Nature's Prophet is here's a fun fact for you. Not named Furion in Dota 2 as a lot of people think.
Dire's top tower
He had
is
another
under
name for a
attack.
while, they just got rid of it. for no reason one day. And there goes Pangolier. It was because he was lagging, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, howdy, we sure got a lot of bosses in this series. It's like what happened with Team Spirit last week.
Voker's missing. Life Stealer finds that funny.
You can see here, you know, the Bitlord really not able to do any damage to the Lifestealer. He's got big, scary purple hands for some reason, even though he doesn't have Armlet. He's gonna have it soon, though. In fact, I believe it is coming on this courier as we speak. It is no longer in his, well, maybe not. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Is this a replay bug, or, what happened there?
Who knows? It's a beta.
You just sent it back home to get TPs, okay?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They really wanted to jump on Willow here. They still are.
Boy, charge plus Inkswell.
Gonna get that. Gonna get Lion. Gonna really mess up Lion, but also gonna get Void here.
With
really,
silence.
Really did not like what Silence had to say to him at this point. Booker is here. Bitlord as well.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh god.
Spearbreaker just eating it for free.
Yep.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Ultimately, probably worked out. I would say most of all for Luth's advantage. No, actually, that was the best for Lich there.
That's really true.
Got that backwards in my head. I'm still thinking of Lich as on the Dire, but it worked out better for Lich there, who not only did not have to, not only got a lot of the VIPs, but they did not have to drop Lifestealer for that at all. He was not present at the fight. That's the golems we were talking about in the last game. Good, good Fatal Bonds as well.
Yep.
Got the Invoker as well.
Very good. Grimstroke also strong.
Dogtown, man. You can't argue with that Dogtown. He is spicy.
Yeah. Very good. So as I was saying before with the Lifestealer, the build max passives.
Yep. No surprise there. He hasn't been getting. He was never in terribly much danger dying out. I don't know why Void's here. Void thinks he's going to be able to.
This is the easy farm.
Yeah, I guess it is the easiest theoretical farm though. He is going to be in pretty consistent danger of Lifestealer, if nothing else.
I think you just jump away from him. There's not much Lifestealer can do about that.
That's true, but he's going to have to consistently jump away from him. In other words, he's going to be doing this instead of farming.
Sure.
Lion coming in trying to clear this lane up to a degree here.
Something here.
It's gonna be Chrono. Yep, TikTok.
He's dead there anyway because of time dilation, even if he didn't Chrono.
Yeah.
Time dilation is really nasty against Lifestealer.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, I thought he was actually, because it's just level 1 here.
Still a solid amount of time he can't rage.
That's true.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But yeah, it was good to secure the kill anyway.
Yeah. No,
time dilation is actually.
Pangolier just stunned here. Sad.
It's actually a nasty skill against a lot of their heroes. I didn't even consider that when he was picked.
Well, Pango had to go a little bit deep there to try and get the Spear Breaker, and man, did that not play that well for them.
They have the rotations.
Yep. Yeah, no, I wasn't saying time dilation was a bad use there. I'm just saying that I don't think it would have got the kill at level 1, but it certainly would have put him in a lot of danger. Especially with Lion showing up. He did not realize Lion was coming in for him. He did have the rotations, but I will say the rotations were a little late, and I think it ultimately, even though Willow had to back there, I think that came well for them.
And that Iceman Invoker. Heard good things, seeing good things. Oh,
Yeah, he promised it to us, you know? There was a pre-show that we did before the games this week. Also,
True.
Rip Invoker just got run over the Spirit Breaker there. There's a pre-show,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'll pick it this week, dude.
wow. Appreciate it.
I'll pick the Invoker. I'll bring them the meatball. Except I won't, because I barely have E. But you know, it's the thought that counts.
I'm sure we'll start leveling it.
Whoa, that's...
Overcross.
Alexa Jax, man, always seems to have the drop on that Spirit Breaker. Whenever Spirit Breaker charges anywhere near line, it always seems to get blocked out.
Don't have an answer for the Life Stealer here.
They do, actually.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Unfortunately,
The Invoker's here now.
SB actually dropped the charge there. I'm not sure if he got stunned or what.
He charged, through a pit, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. She's getting a Shadow Blade, probably looking for a quick Silver Edge. I can definitely see why. You know, it is a good thing to do about old Luth.
Oh boy! Great tornado!
Yeah, that was. So much less damage with no, oh, and goodbye SB. Oh man, just barely getting his way out of there. Barely getting his way out of there, and Silencer gets the... Oh man, that was good. That was a good little play, good little turnaround there. Then everybody tips Iceman.
Sad.
They're really baiting well with the Spirit Breaker, I think. There's been so many times when Spirit Breaker has been like 20, 30 HP, you know, somewhere in that range, and he just barely squeaks out. Somebody goes deep to kill him, and then just gets killed. That's really the magic of Spirit Breaker in the pause 3 position, I think. That you can really get people, you know. You can make yourself such a nuisance, and then really pull yourself out right at the worst possible times. Just drag people into hell. Behold the meatball!
There it is.
See,
I
told you I would do it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dogtown. Uh-oh, Spirit Breaker actually canceled there. Thought he was going to go into the pit. He actually wasn't, I don't think. Light's going to get very bullied here. This could be bad. Lightstealer ultimately going down. That was bad, yeah. Spirit Breaker is dilated.
Doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
Didn't use any skills there.
They did there. Though, already gone
God.
by the time it was up. Just casually running over HS, but... They can decide what rabbit they want to chase here. If they want to get the tower, they want to get Spirit Breaker, or what. I think they can get something here. Ultimately, just decide to knock Spirit Breaker back and get the tower rather than knocking him out.
Yep.
Isn't a bad idea, he's just a pause 3. I would say an objective is probably worth a little more than a pause 3, even a early objective. Okay, now this is probably not the play. He did, he was able to get out of there, but...
He's trying to get a little heat off Dogtown, which did work, actually.
A Spirit Breaker disarm just has to stand there and watch after the charge comes.
Oh my god, 3-man linesman!
I was thinking that was about to be Chronos City. Was not even necessary. He actually got to walk with it still on his backpack. Oh, it's still on CD? Oh yeah, you're right. I think it takes forever to come up, man.
My god. Could not ask for a more perfect line stun there.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I think there were a few positioning errors. That's one thing that I do think that a very big advantage Willow has here. That I think it is kind of having an impact on Lich's performance so far. They got really 4 heroes that force you to think about your position. Really 5, I would argue, actually. You know, HS, right? The Pangolier is constantly going to make you think about your position because if you don't, he's just going to turn to a ball and he's going to mess you up. Things like this are going to happen to you easily, right? Any other guy there that basically that charge works, gets a kill, and he gets out of there, but not Pango, right? You know, the Pit Lord obviously is the king of positioning screws. You know, he just puts up a big do not be here zone, right? You know, the the Invoker, obviously, you have the Tornado, you have the EMP, you have the Deafening Blast. You have a lot of things to be thinking about with that Invoker as far as your positioning goes. And he's going Q and W, focus on that W, so you know you're going to be seeing it as well.
Yep.
The Void, obviously, you just can't be in chrono position or you're going to die. You know, the Lion even still has the, as we see in the last fight, still has the Q, and if ultimately at some point in this game he gets the Ags, you're going to have that to worry about as well, you know. It's 5 very big positioning screws, and while they do have the Silencer, they actually have a lot of people who are almost slaves to their own positioning. It's not like Spearbreaker can control it that well. Bad time to turn around for Warlock, unfortunately. I don't think he could have known what was coming for him there.
Yeah.
Got a pipe up already, is that? Yep, Underlord's got a pipe that's pretty good. It's gonna counteract a lot of the damage coming on them early. Because early game, a lot of that damage is going to be like the Silencer Q, it's going to be what Grimstroke is doing. We've seen a lot of that.
Yep. Still holding Chrono.
Though I will say, I think the ultimate amount of magic damage is low enough. I think he could have gone for Eternal Shroud and been okay.
Oh god, he's got double damage.
This is fortunate for him. Well, maybe not quite that fortunate.
Not fortunate for him. He got bashed out there.
Yep, his team was not. His team kind of, to be honest with you, kind of let him out to dry there. I think that was a very good opportunity. He had Chrono too. Very good opportunity for a Chrono there, but without the Tornado coming in for the save or something, you know, it just really didn't pan out. But yeah, as far as the pipe goes, yeah, I will say I think it's a little unnecessary to have rushed it as much as he did. Maybe Eternal would have been better. His damage would have been even better than that, because at any point in the game they're going to be worrying about the lifesteal and the breaker. And goodbye.
For instance, yeah.
Yep, 2 people just going down to the basically the breaker and the lifesteal are in sequence. Actually smoked into Roche there before walking out to clear it.
Yep. Yeah, they'll finish off the Roche.
Yep. Well, start the Roche. It didn't actually even touch him.
Roche, yeah.
Yep.
Start and finish.
Oh, people don't like Crimson Guard that much nowadays, but until Lifestealer gets crits, and he doesn't look like he's going to be going that way here. Actually does do a lot to stop him. Does do a lot to, not a super lot, because I don't think it does anything to Glaze. You know, the bonus damage from the Glaze anyway, but it does at least inert a decent amount of the damage that, Silencer's doing from his autos alone.
I don't think they can Roche right now, actually.
Yeah, they actually have to just walk away.
Went pretty disastrously for them.
Got Nikilla though. Yeah, Lifestealer right now just doesn't really have the damage. He has the S and Y, which is a good way to sustain himself during fights. Not really what he's looking for as far as damaging. So, to that end, it's going to be a while for they're able to do that. But yeah, as I said, no, Crimson could do a lot here. If you didn't want to do Crimson, and I can certainly see why you wouldn't, because it's kind of an on-the-fence sort of Crimson game. Definitely big AC game here. If you can get it. It's a big ask. Big AC game. Big Shiva's game as well. Immediately forces out the Rage whenever you use it, and if you use it when the Rage isn't up, then Lifestealer can no longer do anything. You know, Spearbreaker is reduced to just using his skills, can't attack you anymore basically, you know, that sort of thing. Silencer as well gets a bit more messed up by that than he would Crimson, so...
Yeah.
That's what my personal choice here would be. I don't think a Crimson would be necessarily wrong. I'm always big on the 3 items, as you've probably figured out by now. Spearbreaker actually stopped him with a Shadow Blade. I don't know if I approve that quite so much. He's doing it because he wants the extra speed for the bonus damage on the charge, and I get that much. Though I feel like, you know, you definitely have some very interesting passes to break between the Void and the Pit Lord.
Smoked up Void is always scary.
Yep. TikTok coming right down on your head. Be a very hard thing to argue, but they are really positioning for it this time.
Oh boy.
Getting more and more grouped up. They don't
Chrono
care.
the Lifestealer.
Gonna Chrono right on the Lifestealer, and
oh
there he
my
goes.
god. Yep.
Very good luck with the Cataclysm there. I like how when Pangolier is leashed with the Grimstroke ult, he literally can't do anything. He just is forced to stand still, whether or not it makes sense.
You can actually use 0 of his skills while leashed, I believe.
Yep. That's actually that there is a counter I didn't know. I figured if you were leashed in the in the Pango ult, it'd either just cancel it or just force you to.
Oh,
Well, bad news for Luth.
Absolutely perfect.
Void gets kind of bullied a little bit in this game. I mean, he got his combo out, so it's not that bad for him.
Yeah. Still more ideal to not be dying than to be dying, to be frank with you.
That's true.
I'm gonna manta up soon, likely mostly for the silencer. But as I was saying there, the the Pangolier interaction with Grimstroke is very strange. I would kind of approve.
Huh?
I would kind of like it. I don't know why that charge stopped. That was I think not the time to just end that there, to be honest with you. But
Didn't have much support there.
even if he didn't either.
Are scanning.
If nothing else, you can at least just force him to turn around, rush back to base. It's actually kind of low as well. Either way, yeah, I would definitely. I would be calling up Johnny Icefrog and asking him if he could change up that interaction. That's a little unnecessarily harsh, I think. Doesn't make a lot of logical sense either. Got a Titan Sliver up for the Radiant here. That's Nobody actually wants that Titan Sliver right now, it seems.
Life Stealer.
Stealer and stuff. Yep. I
Yep.
was gonna say I would probably do better as a ring. It might be able to do Roche just with that thing alone now, actually. It's a very not insubstantial amount of damage.
Smoke, run straight into Luth here. Oh, he got
hello,
silenced
Luth.
before he could
Goodbye,
time walk.
Yep.
That's so unfortunate.
I feel like Willow is kind of low on the vision this game. I think a lot of that has just been, it's been, you know, Alexa Jax and HS here, Elscream, have been really hard pressed to actually be able to get out and get vision up, though I think at this point it's starting to become a real issue as Spearbreaker is just able to kind of pop in from nowhere.
Right, and he combos really well with both Grim and Life Stealer.
Yep. Meanwhile though, or not Lion, but Invoker rather.
Oh no!
Well, they're immediately 2 games in a row where Kid
Oh,
Dynamite gets the
no,
Aegis and
dude.
immediately gets knocked out.
That is a nightmare.
Not that big of a nightmare, actually. We're just gonna take one and be done with it, looks like. Yeah. That looked a lot worse for Lich than it actually was, I think.
I mean, popped Aegis immediately,
true.
completely nullified whatever advantage they got from that, and lost their support for no reason.
Actually, no.
It was pretty bad.
Oh, wait, yeah. You're right. I actually thought it was Willow who lost the support. But, still, that, at the very least, that could have easily been, you know, like 5 for nothing, 6 for nothing. So, that was not nearly as bad as it looked, I think. And they ultimately probably got more on their team from killing the Roche than they did losing Warlock. Because right now, Warlock is Jabroni City. He's got 4K net worth. He's still carrying tangos. He's got nothing to do with the game.
Still surprisingly big to just completely lose that Aegis advantage.
Right. Don't think they would have been doing terribly much with it at this point anyway. Life Stealer is just not that scary yet. Life Stealer is just not that scary yet, as shown by the fact that he basically just got mulched by a single Invoker Cataclysm there.
Sure.
A single Invoker Cataclysm.
Cataclysm's scary, man.
Yeah. He has gotten maxed into E, but still. Cataclysm is scary, but completely destroyed by Cataclysm. You're really not there yet, I don't think. Warlock just gonna get annihilated again. Like Iceman tornadoing to snipe the kill.
Yeah. Deserves it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
All the kills go to me. All the assists go to me. All the deaths.
Go to Warlock.
That's for you, Warlock. Global silence here. Man, this sucks for Dire. They are in really bad way here. Global silence, they really can't do much. We got a Chrono here, but just on Dogtown. Not really a value Chrono. Everybody else looks like it's gonna walk.
He wanted KD with it too, but just got back in
Wasn't able to
time.
get him. Oh, that was
That's
sad. Just got bashed 3 times in a
Uh-oh.
row during his ult.
Uh oh. That's not too good.
That is not too good. I believe that was a buyback, though. Let's check it out. No, that wasn't a buyback, actually. It was a buyback for Dogtown.
That's such a good voice line, dude.
That was evil, I think, is what that says. It's
It
kind of
was
hard to tell
evil.
because it's on the trees. But...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Let's just gonna casually push out the objectives here. Unfortunately, the best objective they could possibly take with Invoker down is not available to them right now, which is a more major factor, I think, about that fight at the Roche pit. Certainly had a lot of strategic impact at the very least. Goodbye, Ramanolo.
Oh
Man, he's such a time sink to kill, though. He got that play mill up. He's going for Lotus, but that play mill plus the ceremonial rope, or rather his aura, that really sucks to fight against.
Yep.
I guess the aura actually is another surprisingly good argument for the Crimson this game as well, because you're already going to be dropping the amount of damage they do by a percentage, so why not do it by a flat number as well? Always goes together very well, those percentages and flat numbers. It stacks up better than you'd think. But now we wait.
wait.
And now back in action.
Dire are scanning.
The Dire have found
Dire's
Lifestealer.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yep.
Spearbreaker's
So
gonna
they have-
beat up the bot tower here. Probably gonna get it for his troubles. Got his Ags already.
Yep.
Dire's
Very
This is
good.
a very good Ags for him here, I think. He's going to really want his shard as well.
Dire's
The more
bottom
Spearbreaker cannot get BKB, the better things go for him.
Yep. Oh boy.
Oh, that was a great global silence. That was 100% Void just looking for a Chrono into Cataclysm. That global silence did stop it.
Oh yeah.
That was perfect. Down goes Void. Down goes the Pit Lord. Iceman. Uh-oh. He
Oh,
had to
he's
pop
dusted.
BKB.
But yeah.
So Pangolier gonna be the one going down instead, right? Likely.
Dire's top
Sacrificial.
Gonna
He's gonna make it as annoying as possible, as is tradition.
run over meat again. Always thinking about that Golem micro. Just immediately brings it up here
Yep.
to try and help push this lane out.
Dire's bottom tower is under
It's very
attack.
noticeable with run over meat. I think that's actually a rather unique skill. And so far, the Warlocks in this tournament, I think he's
Dire's
actually the
bottom
best
tower has
on
fallen.
using that Golem micro. If he gets into the point where he is really quick on the draw on getting the stuns out, the big stuns, and if he can get to the point where he's not quite so destitute through the game, if he can be getting, for example, that shard, which is always great, you could really be seeing a very fierce Warlock here. I think he's
Yeah.
for a relatively new guy, you know, I think he shows a lot of talent on this hero in particular. I think he's got more upside than he has on Wyvern, for example. You know, he doesn't have that base instinct for Wyvern like he does with Warlock, it feels like. That X factor, as they say. Not X factor pick, that's what Oslo would be talking about, but that sort of hidden you can play Warlock sort of functionality. Looking for Roche again, he's not going to be up for a while. Just casually, randomly dusting just to make sure they don't accidentally pop smoke on nothing here as they go out. That or they just misclicked. Always a possibility. Making it look like Luth is all alone here. I like scouting the pit with the crappy little Forge Spirit. Just looks so miserable on this Select Portrait when it's not animated.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Just looks so genuinely disappointed. Silencer's got that Axe. A big fat last word. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's having to go for Aeon Disc so he can survive the Chronos. Just another major reason
Yeah, the
this
Chrono
combo
Water.
screws him.
Yep.
It's kind of the anvil hanging above their head. I think Lich is playing a very good game here. But man, that constant lingering. Well, if we get Chronoed and Cataclysm, we all die. In the back of their minds is going to be playing a part. I think both for the actual game itself. I think it's both going to be a threat in the game, and it's going to be a threat mentally as well. They're always going to have to be thinking about that. They can't not be thinking about that, because if they ever don't think about that,
it's a legitimate threat. It's not like a getting in their head kind of thing, because you actually have to worry about it.
Right. No, what I'm saying is, it's both getting in their head and actually something to really worry about. It's a very valid fear. Very valid fear. You know, not all phobias are irrational. Some people have a fear of dying. That's okay. It's a very normal thing to be worried about dying, and it's a very normal thing to be averse to dying. In fact, probably better that you're averse to it than not.
Behold!
Unless you're like Wraith King Pause 3 or something, and your job is to strategically die at the perfect time during fights, in which case that's fine.
Oh no.
Pangolier trying to lead the enemy team into something here, but man.
Oh my god!
Oh, he sure lets them into something, alright, baby! Oh no!
Oh boy.
Boy got very poor luck with the bashes there. Romanolo needs to get in step with the Void here to make this really work for them. Boy got very poor luck with both the bashes and the his Maelstrom there, but man, oh man, did that suck. You're even gonna kill
that was perfect.
Well, that did not immediately look at. I think that kind of showed almost a bit of, you know, they're getting a little too enthusiastic about these easy kills. I think they're definitely thinking about trying to end this game early, which is good. Yep. It is as good as possible for them to be thinking about early ends, but it is not fantastic for them to be sort of letting themselves get out of position against a team which, as we've talked about so far, has so many position screws here. Like sending Spearbreaker out to counter to try and catch the Pango for the kill was good, but sending Void with him, that didn't go so well for him. Warlock as well certainly had no reason to be there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
And that's sort of getting back to the legitimate fear thing, and back to what I said about if they forget about it for 1 second, right? They forgot about it for 1 second. For 1 second, everything in Lich's mind was, get the Pango! Knock him out of the fight! We won't have to worry about him. But Pango, let's just call a spade a spade. Pango has not really had a great fight impact. He's not had a great impact in this game so far, aside from getting people into bad situations by chasing him, basically. He's really almost playing like a pseudo Pause 3 here with how he's going, right? And building as well, you know, going for like the Ghost Scepter. So to that end, you know, chasing the funny clown man all around all the time is exactly what the funny clown man wants to do, right?
Yep.
Invoker found a Penta-Edged sword. Here's a fun fact about Penta-Edged swords some of you folks at home may not know, because I actually did not realize this myself until I saw it in use in a different game and it completely clicked for me. Unlike the Sange of old, Penta-Edge has no restriction with ranged shields. You can actually use it on them very easily. But
that's true.
I feel like really in this case, rather than Silencer, I feel like the man of the hour for it is Lifestealer. Mindbreaker's probably better on Silencer anyway. Lets him get some utility out of his Q, right? Can mind break.
Well, Invoker found it, so.
Yep. I mean, yeah. He's got the mind break.
It's not on Radiant.
Oh wait, you mean they found the?
Oh,
you're right. I thought Silencer found it. I missaw the little icon.
Invoker.
Uh-oh. That means Void has it. That's going to be quite dangerous. That basically gives Void the biggest upside that Lifestealer has, that ability to just completely right-click and chase you, even if his lockdown isn't coming through.
Yep.
Feels like Void just randomly misses sometimes, man. For like no good reason. Also says the Aegis. I did not catch who got the shard. I believe it was Void himself who popped it.
Yeah, I think so.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I would have gone for Void there with it. I feel like three of these other guys could have probably used it a little bit more than him. Not to say that reverse time walk is bad necessarily, but man, the try meatball can really make a huge portion of the battlefield turn into crap for you.
You're looking for something.
They're thinking Luth's here, but he's still in base. You know, you might notice immediately the second Luth showed, they immediately all walked out. Realize he wasn't home. Looks like Lich is just going to be determined to make sure they have to go under the T3s here.
Yep.
Behold the Uni-Meatball, Void!
You can just pick up a sword if he wants it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I could have 3 glorious meatballs, but I don't, Void!
Got enough money, you can pick it up.
Sure. But hey, you know, it's the sort of thing where you don't really want to buy it necessarily. It's just good if you get one for free. Like, I do like how at least Void is being funny with this time, Hawk.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Nice.
Just being annoying with it. Okay. Alright, no, this was not the play. This was definitely not the time for Spirit Breaker to be going SNY, and I understand why. He's looking for both the status resistance of the Sange and the speed up of the Yasha, and that's good. But that's all about him, and this game, he can't be having that. One thing you might have noticed is that even though so much of this lineup is built around him, he hasn't been able to actually really initiate so far. Most of their successes have come from counter-initiation, rather. To that end, definitely focusing around your Q was a misplay here.
Yeah. We're high ground here.
Kind of casually.
Very aggressive with the global up.
Yeah, they don't seem to care that much about it. Airbreaker in a bit of a fix here.
Oh boy.
He is quite tanky. Global's out.
Void is leash. That's really bad. Oh.
But this is even worse.
Oh yeah, that's bad. But he does have an disc. Doesn't matter. He's gonna melt.
Yep, has to buy. Luth tried to go another way around this fight. Now he's just gonna die, I think.
Void is Luth, I'm afraid.
Or, yeah, you're right. The bush, rather.
Yes.
I keep thinking Lifestealer's Luth, man. It's been confusing me all game because it's usually
That
him
is a
playing
Luth
it.
hero, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we played against him today. Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, Lifestealer
That's not good.
Lifestealer was able to go from no health to full health. We did have to drop some buybacks for that, including most notably on Lifestealer himself here.
Got that BM chat wheel line. Very nice.
Yep. It's a good turnaround for Lich there. They're definitely not out of this fight yet. They definitely want to make absolute sure. They're playing as well as possible around this. They are really making Void and Invoker sweat every single fight. They're taking their own weakness and putting it back on them. Now it's not just, you know, they have to be thinking about that chrono. It's just as much, you know, Void has to be thinking about that silence, right? They have to be thinking about that global silence, especially after that major disaster for them at the bot lane. Lifestealer found a Stormcrafter, which would be really great on the other team. I believe they actually also have one. Yes, they do, and it's interesting. Okay. And nobody wants the poor Witchbane. I don't know if you can purge Grimstroke's ult. I don't think you can.
No.
Yeah. If you could, man, that would be really good for them. I actually do feel like it might not be a bad idea from this point, Pitlord to drop the Stormcrafter, pick that thing up so he can easily, instantly purge off the global silence from someone. You can kind of do that with the Stormcrafter as well, but you know, you also have to put them in a stupid tornado while they do that. You don't have to worry about that.
That's only like a second. I think it's less than a second actually.
Let's find out.
No.
It is indeed less than a second, but But also, so I think a much nicer passive for him to boot. Because he definitely has quite a bit of mana, and he has quite a bit of right-click ability here. One of the nice things about Underlord S3, you're always going to get right-click power to some degree, no matter what you're doing. Is he building up a, that's Sheepstick? Yeah, he is. Going right for Sheepstick here. Really, it does not care about that potential right-click damage coming off the Radiant. He's also thinking about the long, but given that it's been 46 minutes already, and we're still looking at a scenario like this, I guess it's not entirely, not an entirely wrong thought process.
We're already staring at the long here.
Right. It's an interesting thing about the long is that it's very easy to turn what's already a long game into a longer game. I would say, generally speaking, it's a lot easier to turn an already long game into a longer game than to turn a short game into a long game, you know?
Yep.
It's like, you either win at 30 minutes or you'll win whenever the enemy team sort of lets you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like this ward, which is like a cauldron. Oh, I missed Lion dying because I was staring at the wards.
Absolutely perfect.
Sad.
Perfect.
What'll happen? Some illusions out, doing some illusion harassment here. And now here come the
getting damage on those range Rex, which do not regenerate, so good.
Yeah, if you're gonna be doing this strategy,
right there.
if you're gonna be doing this strategy, what you want is towers and you want the range racks. Now, when you're actively pushing, you basically always want the melee racks, unless you know your push isn't gonna last long. But if you're splitting, if you're hitting with illusions, if you're hitting with summoned enemies, things like that, then absolutely going for the that is the best option. They're looking to take Roche here. They're gonna get a free refresher shard for it.
Yep.
And the cheese, you know.
Do you put it on Voker or Void? That's the real question. I think Voker already is a refresher, so.
Yeah, Invoker has a refresher. I would definitely stick it on the Void here. The only issue
really
is you're gonna have to,
space.
yeah, it's probably gonna have to drop the mask.
Yeah.
Because at this point,
disassemble it fairly soon anyway.
yeah, at this point, it's not so incumbent on him to
Disassemble it now, yeah.
actually drop a piece of it in the store.
That's
Leave
fine.
his clarity there. It's not going to be incumbent on him to do damage during his ult. They have plenty of damage for doing the ult. Why? What is this? Rather, it's going to be incumbent on him to freeze people during his ult. One thing that would actually work really well for them, funnily enough, is rather than getting two consecutive kills with, or two consecutive chronos, do two different chronos in different places and let the Cataclysm just clean up from there. Just freeze everybody in that crap. That is really tough to argue with.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And if you want a little bit more damage, you can always have some armor break from the Pango or some Pit Lord action going on there.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Pangolier just getting the crap beat out of him here. They're really worried about reprisal here. They were so worried about reprisal, they actually dropped global for that. That was a lot. It's a big thing to drop when you're not actually looking at Void yet. Ouch. They actually just missed the chance there to counteract the
Radiant's
combo.
top tower is under attack.
Considering they were already backing, it might have been better to just
Radiant's top tower is fallen.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
He has a refresher in his back pocket. He's actually waiting for his
Yeah, he
second
does.
life. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. I think they had a pretty good opportunity with a second chrono, especially with Invoker having the refresher just end it right there. Invoker, in fact, actually refreshed during that. He's gonna be keeping it till.
I think they had to get more results with the first Chrono Cataclysm, and
Perhaps.
since they didn't get the results, they just decided to reset.
They do not have terribly long to do that with the Aegis. I believe they have one more shot, and they will not have a second Cataclysm following them that time. I guess theoretically they could, but it will be. It's like a 20-second time period where you're going to have the Aegis and the refresher for Invoker there. Might just have to wait for another Roche as a result.
Invisibility.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Invoker or not Invoker, Silencer thinks it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Just
it is pretty
casually
funny.
beating down on this this tower here. Invoker will now, or not Invoker, it's Faceless Void will eat this. I think everybody's Invoker now for some reason. Faceless
Yeah.
Void will now eat these racks for free without even having to fight. Okay. That's always sad to see.
Yep. Very nervous about reprisal here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Oh
And,
boy.
Here comes the reprisal.
Oh, Aeon Disc.
Oh, the two Aeon Discs. Both Grimstroke and Silencer with the Aeon Discs.
Yep.
That is
This is a
truly
good Aeon
sad.
Disc game.
By the way, the Iceman just melted somewhere back here.
Yep.
Winter is over now.
Oh boy.
Uh oh, Chrono 2.
Oh. Focus
Oh,
here.
that wasn't good.
Can throw
We have a
stuff into
Shield
the
somewhere. I
chrono.
think that's on Invoker. Yep.
It's a little unfortunate.
Well, Twist of Fantasy just broke every bit of resource they had. Unfortunately, without the second Cataclysm, the second Chronosphere, as predicted, really didn't do anything.
Yep.
She's always a tragedy. Never something you won't be looking at.
Well-gotten gains.
Well, got
happens.
gains. Certainly a good opportunity to try and turn things around for the for Lich here. You're gonna have a long time where they're really out of tricks. No
Yep.
chrono, no refresher on Invoker, no nothing.
Fresh will be back up pretty soon.
But the important distinction is, it's not up now.
Poker just gonna make this push as annoying as possible.
Yep. They might get a Warlock also. That is 3 Aeon Discs on Lich, dude. Invoker, Void,
Yeah.
and Invoker, actually.
That's
But
the
gotta be
best way to
crying.
counter it.
That does mean that there is a bit of future mortgaging going on here. If you all have to have Aeon Discs, that means that you're all basically down an item slot forever.
Yep. And that's life when you're playing against a Boker Void.
Got a leveler on Lifestealer here.
You either do that or you die instantly.
Yep. So do you either die now, or do you die later? It's a hard option.
Either die now or die always.
Getting a bit of a slow period here. What do you think? You think there's still a path for the Radiant here?
Potentially, the Lifestealer is a bit strong.
I actually thought they were out of it until Lifestealer found that level. If they actually had found anything else. Good grief, says Warlock, very uncharacteristically for him.
Yeah. It's never a good grief in Dota.
My jug griefing.
A joke griefing, yeah.
Good grief indeed! Holy crap, Ramanolo. Fix your internet, man.
Or?
R is for... Come on, dude! There we go.
What's your problem? You just skip it.
Yeah. It's just like, they had the exciting, oh, ready to go moment. Never mind.
Oh boy.
Void has Chrono here, but he just is not going to be able to use it. This Grimstroke will very good here, just
Back.
basically just eats Ramanolo.
Oh
Void's
no,
back.
they're all so close together.
Not only are they all so close together, a lot of the Aeon discs are actually already gone. We got Lifestealer here.
Yep.
And he's dead.
Double Cataclysm. Yeah.
And he's back.
Or he can swap in a Refresher if he wants.
Yeah, but you'll have to live without a quarter. Okay, just get rid of your quarterstaff, dude. What are you hanging on that thing right now for? There we go.
Yeah.
There, actually took out a tower there. Took out one of the T4s. What was happening, which is very unfortunate. Once again, Lich desperately trying to avoid getting Mega'd here.
Yeah. As they should.
Ramanolo getting ran over here. Spearbreaker getting kind of plugged up as a result.
Yeah.
Global silence. Global silence. There goes Pangolier. He's back.
Oh dear. Does not have enough mana anymore, and he's dead. Ooh.
Ouch. And that was Void's dieback as well.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I'll take the racks while they're chasing my team across town.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good backdoor strategy here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's tipped.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Can't argue with the tip. I think that was a good play.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not so good that Dota isn't going to crash for a minute, but you know.
Yeah, there you go.
It was so good it broke my PC.
Absolutely perfect.
Radiant are scanning.
Precious bounty.
Alright.
Gonna do in the Roche here. Pangolier's gonna make that a bit of an issue for them, but perhaps not as much as he'd like. Goodbye, Pangolier. That's his dieback. Lifestealer getting dangerously close to that, not satanic, that Abyssal Blade.
Yep.
Actually keeping the Penta.
I'm just saying now to that Abyssal Blade.
Spearbreaker, actually, of all people, has that leveler.
You won't be roaching on my watch. Okay, maybe you will, but I'll make it annoying. See?
Certainly will.
Dire are
Try roaching through all that crap.
You will not try.
There's actually a really good way for them to buy time there. Void's already up.
Yep.
Pango's up in a minute. Roshan
Alright.
just gonna completely melt the die here. Radiant are not gonna get tested at all.
Roshan has fallen to
Got a
the
free Ags and a free refresher shard here.
Yep.
Pitlord looking at the Ags. Yep.
Gonna pick up everything. Not a
What's that
guarantee
funny
that
game?
not a guarantee that he will necessarily use it.
Yep. On Void actually wouldn't be too bad, I think.
Time is money.
Lion has his. It's good for him.
Yep.
Something for him to throw into Chrono.
And he has the refresher from that too.
That's
Well,
true, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. That seems a bit scary actually if they can execute it properly.
Yeah, because of the cooldown reduction on Finger with the Ags, you can either theoretically get 3 fingers out in a fight with the refresher shard.
Have a chrono.
TikTok right on Spirit Breaker. Getting pointed at.
Oh.
Getting really big for some reason. And he's back. It see
Yep, giant ring.
this has gotta be almost frustrating for the Dire at this point. It seems like every time they get a kill there's just an immediate buyback from whoever they get knocked
Yep.
down. Pitlord ultimately is gonna go for the eggs here.
Yeah, the Gate Lord.
Yep. It's a bit homophobic of you, don't you think? Who's got those greaves? Not Invoker. Not him. Lion? No? Who the hell does have these graves? That's a good question.
Angler.
Oh, you're right. Speaking of Pangolier getting beat up again.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That Ghost Scepter
Yeah.
on and Reminol on his way.
They're
They
so
really can't keep
nervous
doing
about
it.
beating him up.
Yep. Not a great surprise there.
Yeah. Pango's in their heads.
Somebody's calling.
Rent-free, as I would say.
Somebody's calling. I don't think it's Pango so much. I don't think they're really afraid of Pango. I think it's more they're afraid of the. It's gonna follow up on it. They're afraid of that Chrono and that Cataclysm.
I mean, that's how it starts, you know, you overextend to the Pango, like
Right.
earlier. Oh boy, he's silenced. Although,
This is what Silencer says. And immediately, yep, have to pop BKB when he gets back up. Silence.
he's abyssal, however.
And goodbye. Faceless Void going down. Invoker is in all the trouble a man is legally allowed to be.
They are very well
Make it
equipped
outta
to
here.
defend.
Yeah, Lifestealer can eat an entire wave of Mega Creeps and just not care, so he's gonna be fine here no matter what happens to him, basically. He's also getting a Moon Shard up soon. Which is gonna be pretty good on him, I think.
Yep, soon we'll just eat it.
I will say, at this point, I would give some consideration to potentially knocking out the armlet.
Precious
That,
bounty.
you know, there's other ways to get that sort of stat and attack speed benefit without having the armlet on and off. You get a
You're
hard
gonna
form, for
put the
example.
dead in the end. And a Stygian Desolator.
A Stygian Desolator, huh? Oh. That can do a lot of damage, man, especially just in a side slot.
Yep.
Spear Breaker is on his way to get broken, I think. Though, not before Pangolier, who's just getting, again, just bashed right in place here.
Oh boy. Oh, good stun.
Yeah, they are getting
Alright.
him, but it is such a time investment.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
It is such a time investment, and their
They
Ancient is
have
getting
Invoker.
beat up.
Yeah.
I actually had to get Lifestealer out of there to worry about that. It's
It is
really,
a constant investment of time
yeah.
when you're Megad.
It's really a very unfortunate situation to be in when you're Mega. It really doesn't matter how well you do in fights after that. You're never going to be able to really do more than 4v5 again, because if you don't watch your base, it's just over for you. Got the global silence out, but with the sheep stick, man, that really does not matter. Goodbye, silencer. He has the buy, of course. Spearbreaker in here, just going ham on Pangolier, but
oh, the chrono.
No Aeon disc.
Alrighty.
But again, once again, having to take the fight so infrequently.
He's already refreshed.
All back.
Oh boy.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Again, that's gotta be just frustrating. You just, on one hand, you absolutely just can't put them down. Every time you get really close to it, they just all buy back. But on the other hand, man, still, they're down a slot from you forever on 3 of their guys, you know. It's gonna be, I think maybe, potentially, there is a room for a turnaround here. It's gotta be the perfect series, but man, it's gotta be perfect, you know. It's not Baby Schlark and Naga's week 3 tiers of just outright, or week 2 tiers of outright trolling, you know, but man, this is tough. Making it real tough. Spearbreaker got the Blade Mail. With all that uncontrollable damage, I can definitely see it. You know, Pit Lord Invoker, fully to a degree, because he's just going to have one less target to Chrono if you have it up when he gets there. And like I said, you can easily get it up by the time he gets there. If he's solo Chronos, you have Blade Mail up, what the hell is he going to do, right?
Yeah.
Still, I don't know if this was exactly... Well, it's not bad. I don't know if it's what they need here, per se. Invoker just got a very casual Octarine core. It's going to make him a lot more threatening. He's going to be up more often. He's going to have the refresh more often. Spearbreaker just getting hassled here. Another silence. We're dropping everything on Ramanolo, but man, is that the guy you want to go for? Took quite a bit of it off of there.
Oh no.
Oh, the global, man! Oh, the global again. That double global silence, dude, is doing so much for him. The only unfortunate thing is it never seems to come with a Q at the same time. He's actually holding on to a Moonshard rather than eating it. I don't know if holding on to the Moonshard rather than eating it would be the play here. If you do have the money and you're not going to need it, you are bought back right now. I think the play here would be to scarf it down and go for, I don't know, let's see what they got.
He doesn't necessarily have the gold for it. So, not much you can do right now.
Right.
No reason to eat it when you don't immediately have the gold to buy something else.
My thought would be, if I'm planning man here, get AC on yourself, have Lifestealer sell his, and get something different in that last slot. AC is great, but it is not ideal for your pause 1 to be carrying per se. There's just better sources of damage for you out there, better sources of attack speed, so on. It is kind of a hard sale as to what do you get on Lifesteal instead. I would actually say, funnily enough, another not ideal pause 1 item, Heart, in the place. You could also go for the not exactly ideal Lifestealer option of getting a BKB just to make sure you have your, you know, you have something to do when that rage is down, right? Because they do have a lot of ways to prevent the rage.
Radiant's ancient
Just micro and necro creeps at the ancient. But yeah, point of the matter is, yeah, that's what I would be doing here. That's what I'd be thinking about. They're probably thinking about just saving money for buyback, because they think at this point it's going to be really just this tail happening forever. Just every single time they fight, they have to wait so long. They have such a long cooldown between fight opportunities here that every time they fight them, they're going to have 5 buybacks ready, basically. So you just save them for that. So that is a risky strategy. It is a risky assumption to make. This time it's going to pan out, it seems. It does seem like they're taking so much time between these, just making sure every little thing is up, that you are going to get those 5 buybacks. And they cannot push between the 5 or push down over the 5 buybacks, as we've seen. But if you got a team who's going to be a little bit more brave here, I think, get a little bit more sort of, you know, I don't care, I just want to win this game going on. That might backfire in the future, making that sort of assumption going forward. Maybe if we're really lucky, we're going to get to see them go 3 hours. So we'll be back essentially okay for them again. You know what's funny, actually? If you go 3 hours, you have to go right for T4s. Because if you yourselves get megas, you actually get screwed because your megas have to. Yeah.
Sure.
Especially supers. If you just get supers, your supers are going to be like dramatically worse than the megas now. Because supers actually start at like the default scaling. Warlock also has a refresher room now. That could be interesting. There's no Ags though. I will say, given Warlock strengths, this particular Warlock strength, let's say Ags would actually probably be a little better for him than the refresher would. Because his strength is the golem micro. His strength is being able to really use those golems well. So getting that, Void didn't find anybody!
That's unfortunate. Oh.
Getting the global out.
Oh, it doesn't
He's
seem like
refreshed.
it'll matter.
Here comes the Warlock golems. Silencer getting ready for another global, but bad news for him. But the Aeon Death's gonna prevent him from doing any, or from dying at least. Got the second global silence. Hit the Ancient, fellas. Ignore the guys. Hit the Ancient. They actually can't kill Void in time for him to just win, I think. They're not only not doing that, they're actually pulling the Necro Creeps off the Ancient for this.
Yep.
But now I think it's starting to come to them. Everybody's just trying to beat up Lifestealer. It's the worst target imaginable. Beat the Ancient up, guys. They got the glyph. Bad timing now.
Oh, the damage.
And the Mega Creeps ultimately get them through it. Wow.
Alright, 1-1.
Yikes, says Warlock. Or I guess, yikes. Oh, what do you say to that? I do think there were some weaknesses in the victory. I do think there were some strengths in the defeat here. I mean, you got some on both sides here, right?
Yeah.
So for starters, I think we have some itemization problems on both teams, really. Silencer, or not Silencer, Lifestealer was forced to get a lot of like pause 3-esque items. Like, you don't want to really get the Satanic on Lifestealer unless you absolutely have to. He had to, unfortunately. But I feel like finding a route where he would have gotten some more damage, some more right click, because that's the biggest thing about Lifestealer. Lifestealer does not really scale as well as you'd think he would, right? You know, when Lifestealer is 30, he's got a lot less to say than a lot of other heroes at the same level. So to that end, you really got to be conscious about what you're building on him. I don't think this was exactly it. I think this is not a bad setup, but could have definitely done better for himself here, I think.
Yeah.
I think the Silencer kit is pretty good. I think the Warlock kit, like I said, I think I would have gone Aghanims. That's run over meat specialty on Warlock. Run over meat specialty on Warlock is not the stun, right? Which is where you get the refresher. It is the golems that come out. So to that end, having 2 golems to play with in these fights, especially when you're facing megas, right? That's I think that's a pretty big advantage for you. The Grimstroke, I think, built pretty well here. Getting that sheep stick was a very big ask, but he actually managed to get it. I think he was probably going for Octarine here at the end, which would have done him some good, I think. So it's another good one for him. Spirit Breaker, like I said, I think he built too much around himself here, and I think too little around his team on a lineup where he really needed to be team-oriented. You know, like I said, an AC here on him rather than Lifestealer, for example, as another guy who could be carrying it. Shiva's Guard, you know, even a pipe would have saved them, I think, a lot of trouble. going on, I did talk about the Underlord during the game, but I don't think the pipe was ultimately that necessary. I don't think they really don't have that much magic damage to worry about, and he did get it very early, which is good. Getting that early on Underlord does make you quite a hard guy to argue with, but that's kind of like, not in this game potentially, and certainly I wouldn't be buying raindrops with it as well. Like, they already don't really have...
Thanks to the Grim.
Yeah, it's really just for the Grim, I think, just for the Ink Soul, but is that really that much worth it, especially when you have the pipe? I mean, if you're struggling with it that much, I think just get BKB is really the answer there. Just get BKB rather than either in this case. Just get rid of the stun rather than getting rid of the damage necessarily. In this specific case, because, the stun's going to be coming up more than the damage. Now, if you had, like, a Lion, on the other hand, that pipe would be great. Because you still do have that annoying stun, and that is annoying to deal with. And you have the Finger of Death, and that's annoying to deal with. But you can counteract a lot of that with the pipe, and you could add the raindrops, too, with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think Invoker kid himself very nicely here. It's a very good setup for him. Shivas will be better on somebody else, but if nobody else is going to be able to pick it up, or nobody else wants to pick it up, it's certainly not a bad thing to get on him.
Yeah.
The Void, I think, hit himself fairly well. I like the choice of Refresher rather than going for damage in his last slot, because I think he kind of realized at some point, I'm not the one doing damage, I'm the one setting up a cataclysm, so I need to help that out as much as possible. To that end, I think he did pretty well for himself, though. He did try to get as much damage out as he could, but it ultimately wasn't that necessary for him. The Lion, I think, hit himself pretty well here. He really needed an axe to be able to contribute. Bangalier, I think, hit himself as well as he could here, more or less. I think, actually, funnily enough, an Aeon Disc on him wouldn't have been too bad, because, if you're down during the ult, right? If you get Aeon Disc during the ult, you're not doing any damage, but you're still breaking armor and stunning people whenever you can, and I think that would have done a lot of good for him here. Following that enemy team example. As far as the draft goes, even in the victory, I think Pangolier didn't add that much to it. He was able to distract them. He was able to take a lot of time out of what they were doing, and that was good. But, like, let's say a 4 Titan, a 4 Tide Hunter could have accomplished that same thing, and I think gone a little better with their lineup. Because that was the biggest thing. He really did not add anything to the actual, like, theme of the team, right? He did not add anything to the Void and Invoker combination. He was able to break armor in, but he never really was in a great position to do that. And he distracted people into chasing him, but again, like a creep could do that, you know what I mean?
Right.
A balloon could do that. A courier could do that. So, to that end, I think a better choice of Pango here, better choice of 4 here, could have saved them a lot of sweat in this game. It wasn't a disastrous pick. It wasn't a game-losing pick by any stretch. It is very rare you're going to see a game-losing pick in +4.
Obviously it wasn't game-losing because they won.
Yeah. I'm saying it's very rare that you're going to see a game-losing pick in +4 in general, right? So, to that end, it wasn't a major disaster, but I think it's something to think about in the future, If there's one guy I think you really want to go with the theme of your team more than almost anyone else, arguably, it is the 4. So, I do think that, on the other hand, the Grimstroke also did not, come in as much handy as he could have been. The Ink Swells were great. The Ink Swells on Spirit Breaker were great, but you could have had... you could have had just Spirit Breaker charge with a more directly, like a run back Tiny again. They actually didn't ban Tiny out, right? You could have had Spirit Breaker charge in with the Tiny, right? You could have had a scenario where Spirit Breaker charges in, Tiny blinks in, throws one of the guys out, and then he just gets to walk away because they're all bowled over. Something like that, you know? The Ink Swell works great with the charge on paper, and it certainly did well for them in lane, but ultimately never really came into effect for them after lane. You got some really good Grimstroke ults, but they were all defensive in nature. And that kind of comes redundant when you have the Silencer already anyway, So to that end, I think we could have had a better pick here than the Grim. I think the Spirit Breaker at the very top of the list also didn't help them too much. He did do well for himself KDA-wise. He actually has, I believe, he had the best KDA on this team. But he had to get that KDA by going all in on himself. Last week we were talking about a This is Sparta versus, I believe, Lich match, actually, funnily enough, where I was talking about how CK on pause 3 I don't like because you have to take so many resources, you can put yourself at risk easily, so even if you're doing well, you could still easily put your team at risk. And this is kind of what I mean by that, right? You know, X3 had to get so much money, he had to get so many kills for doing this, that left poor Lifestealer actually kind of hanging here. He did end up with higher net worth, but they were pretty much neck and neck for most of this game, and Spearbreaker was having to take a lot of that safe farm. And most notably, as I said, Spearbreaker was having to build all about himself, right? The only real pro-team thing that he was able to get here was his Ags and Shard combo and the, to a degree, the Blade Mail, right? Even the Blade Mail is more of like a, protect myself item. Though in this specific case, it did help his team out, right? He had to build around himself, and that's more the fault of the hero than the guy playing him to a degree, I think. Yeah. There was definitely, I think, some better avenues for items he could have gone here. Like I said, I understand why we went for the S&Y this game, but probably needed more tangible sort of tank items here. Even if he didn't want to go for the classic auras, something like, for example, an Orchid actually would have gone pretty well here. Would have forced BKBs at any rate. And sure, you already have the silencer, but like I said before, with a pause 3 position, right? Sometimes moderation is not actually what you want to go for. If they have 5 guys who are really relying on your cast, I don't care if you get a silencer. Get another Orchid, because, he's not going to be up 24/7, and putting that log on the pile is going to make the flame burn even brighter, That's my opinion. What do you think, Randy? What's your post game here?
What a game, honestly.
Anything more to say than that?
Evoker Void combo is quite hard to counter. They had 3 Aeon discs, which is a nominal counter, and still didn't manage to do it necessarily.
Right, yeah. And I think they actually ended up, like I said, and the big thing there as well is, like I was saying earlier, you're dropping slots to do that, and you have to do it, more or less. Dropping slots to do that, which meant that even in the most ideal situation, they were still kind of mortgaging off, I think, in the reality where they didn't have to get 3 on discs, they could have come back from the Megas, but in the reality where they did, I think it was kind of off the market for them.
Right.
So yeah, that's my blog, and I think that's all we have to add here, right? What a long one. So, thank goodness I didn't get called away during that. So, with that all now being said, if you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 on the casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg. It's too late to sign up for this season, I'm afraid, but you can still sign up as a stand-in. Stand-in's always necessary. There's other tournaments going on around the community as well that you could check in on, and you could always just hang around the players. You could even talk to me in that Discord server, or you could even talk to Randy, who types like he's on IRC 12 years ago for some reason in that server.
Sure, I do.
So, yeah. Till next time, and we actually know what we're doing next time already. Next game in this week, we're going to be doing we're going to be seeing the GGs in action against Baby Schlark, I believe.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Say goodbye, Randy.
Goodbye.
All right, we even said goodbye. This is looking up.